Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
XRP has found just a touch of resistance, as has the rest of the crypto asset class, with prices sliding quite a bit within the last 24 hours. What goes up must come down. But I'll tell you this, it doesn't matter. Not in the big picture. Volatility is just a known factor within crypto, so not something to be concerned about. But I will share with you opinions from some analysts. First, I'm going to want to get into some topics I found rather interesting, having to do with where to expect the price of Bitcoin and XRP specifically to go. There was this headline from the Daily Hodl titled, "On-chain analyst Willy Woo says Bitcoin could become a $20 trillion asset." And there was this from the Daily Hodl. Is Bitcoin mirroring Apple's explosive growth? Fidelity's macro analyst likens Bitcoin to the world's richest company. So anyway, plenty to talk about here. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I'm not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, at the time I'm recording this, XRP's at 77 cents, Bitcoin's at 42,377, market cap for the asset class $1.9 trillion, and Bitcoin dominance at 41.56%. And the Crypto Fear and Greed Index still looking pretty good compared to what we've seen for most of like the last 6 to 8 weeks. It's at 44 out of 100, indicating yes, the typical retail speculator is back into fear mode, but it's not that much lower than yesterday when it was at 50 out of 100, and the mood was just neutral at that point. And look, I've said many times, it doesn't make sense from my perspective, where I'm perched, my humble opinion. It doesn't make sense to be a damn bit fearful just because prices pull back. We're trending upwards, and to that end, I want to talk about XRP and what it means when you compare like what some of these Bitcoin maxi types are expecting may happen with Bitcoin, or even just people, even if they're not maxis, just mega Bitcoin bulls who don't really necessarily care too much about alternative coins out there. Because you're talking about Bitcoin potentially getting to $20 trillion within this article, and it's coming from somebody that's got almost 1 million followers on Twitter. And I don't think that the idea of Bitcoin hitting $20 trillion is impossible. I don't know for sure where the thing's going to go. But you're at this point where, when you're talking about the potential growth in terms of price, specifically price of Bitcoin, if you're talking about those upper levels, what's the actual multiplier effect compared to where Bitcoin is right now? If you compare the opportunity to traditional stocks and assets, pick your asset class, it's still amazing, but in the world of crypto, no. Like, to be honest with you, like, the vast majority of incredible percentage gains that we'll ever see from Bitcoin may have already occurred. And so consider this. Now I want to share with you some numbers from XRP. I calculated just 2 numbers having to do with XRP specifically before recording. I'm going to share with you, but let me cover just a little bit of this article so you can get a taste. I don't need to cover much of it, frankly. Anyway, on-chain analyst Willy Woo says Bitcoin could increase its market cap by more than 20 times from current levels in the next decade. In a new interview, the on-chain analyst says that Bitcoin could reach a market cap of nearly $20 trillion within 10 to 20 years. And here's the quote. "I think meaning Bitcoin's market cap, will be more. Maybe close to $20 trillion. And so, look, folks, this is basically what this particular on-chain analyst is speculating the top might be for Bitcoin, more or less. Just like you don't see, I mean, you do see volatility within gold. Admittedly, it was quite a bit lower, but it hits these streaks where it's just like, even when it's volatile in terms of the multiplier effect, it's nothing compared to crypto. Because what was gold at the beginning of the century? Like, I think it was close to $300, and I don't know what it is now because I don't check the gold price regularly. I mean, not too long ago it did peak above $2,000 and then back below. Maybe the last time I saw it was like $1,800. I don't know what it is today. It's probably up around there somewhere. But in terms of multiplier effect, that doesn't mean that there's much opportunity, but it's an asset that's been around and used as money and as a store of value for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and so on and so forth. Obviously, with Bitcoin, in terms of multiplier effect, there may still be a lot more potential upside, but the enticement of Bitcoin, let's just say that's diminishing substantially and quickly, and with each subsequent market cycle, there will be that much less of an opportunity because it'll take that much more money coming in to get a doubling, tripling, quadrupling effect of the price. And so consider this. He's talking about Bitcoin maybe, in theory, having a $20 trillion market cap, and then maybe that would still take 10 to 20 years. So you're talking about a 20-fold increase in the price of Bitcoin. And at the time of recording this, Bitcoin price is $42,000. Now it's $42,409. Market cap $803 billion. So you're talking about a little bit more than a 20-fold increase to get to that $20 trillion level over a span of 10 to 20 years for a 20-fold increase, folks. And again, fine. Look, I acknowledge you're talking about equities. You're talking about whatever. Pick real estate. Whatever it is, it's better. It's better. Fine. But what about XRP? What would it take for XRP to have that 20-fold increase? You know what it would have to be at from the current price level of XRP, which is 77 cents. Yeah, a 20-fold increase would be a little over $15. Now let me ask you: would it be easier for XRP to go from 77 cents to $15, or would it be easier for Bitcoin to go from roughly 42,000 up to whatever the hell that number would be? You know, a 20-fold increase up to $20 trillion market cap. What do you think would be easier? Well, I'll tell you this for a little additional perspective. Let's say that XRP does have a 20-fold increase at some unknown point in the future. And none of this is guaranteed. Investing is risky, and especially in cryptocurrencies with so many unknown factors. I admit that. I'm not pretending there's no risk. I'm just talking about the potential upside being incredible and for many people life-changing. I do believe that's true. So what would it be? If you're talking about a 20-fold increase over $15 XRP, my friends, that would be a market cap of roughly $742 billion. Recognize, that's less than what Bitcoin's market cap is today. Okay? You know, like, so what's more likely to get that 20-fold increase? And not even freaking likely. Like, fine, yes, likely, but in terms of time frame, what is going to yield that type of result faster? Maybe Bitcoin does it. It has that 20-fold increase over that 10 or 20 years. What about XRP? I mean, couldn't it be somewhat close to that? You know, over the next 12 months? Couldn't it be? I mean, I don't know what's going to be. I'm not making a price prediction, to be clear. But if you look at even one of the more conservative analysts out there who is very well respected, and for good reason, within the space, you look at the blockchain backer. He's saying expect somewhere between $10 to $13. Well, that's not much less than 15, not terribly, especially not on the upper end of that expectation. And if that's going to happen this market cycle, well, when is this market cycle going to end? Like, I don't know, because the cycles are provably lengthening at this point. But what, inside the next 12 months, something like that? Hopefully less than that. I would certainly hope less than that, but I don't know for sure. I mean, I'm going to stick around however long it takes. But the idea, this is what I'm saying. Like, yes, Bitcoin's great. I'm appreciative of it. I've held Bitcoin since November 2017. But the idea that for the typical person, you're going to come in and buy Bitcoin and it's going to be life-changing for you, that's going to be almost 0% of humans at this point. The people that it was going to happen for, it's already happened to. But then you've got XRP, which today has a market cap of $37 billion versus Bitcoin's now $803 billion market cap. It's not even close. So which cryptocurrency has the greatest opportunity for a multiplier effect? And then when you talk about risk versus reward, XRP has been in the top 10 cryptocurrencies for its entire existence, almost a decade at this point. How many cryptocurrencies can you say that about? Not many. I think that's true of Ethereum and certainly Bitcoin, obviously. How many others? Are there any others in the top 10 you could say that about? I don't think so. Certainly, so definitely not Cardano, not Solana. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Somebody correct me if I'm... No. Binance wasn't even there. So you're talking about really Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. Those are the three that have just always been in the top 10. And why is that? Well, again, fundamentals don't sufficiently matter as far as I'm concerned. Not as much as they would in a mature market, but they do to some degree. Like people like me, and maybe if you're the same, then maybe people like you, if you're listening to this and you happen to have the same perspective, maybe you too. So some of us do care about fundamentals, and that causes us to hold XRP because we have a better idea of what we're holding than the typical person, I would say. I think that's very fair to say. So there's some of us, but we're a small percentage. We're just a small piece of the equation. There's just enough of us that it's kept XRP up in that top 10 the whole time it's existed, at least to this point. But the volatility, my gosh, the opportunity for return, even with where it's at, it's just... Like, I think it's going to be staggering when this is all said and done. And that's why I wanted to highlight this. Like, where's the real opportunity? And yes, you could have cryptocurrencies that are smaller mid-cap coins that will yield greater percentage gains, but that's less of a certainty. If you go back X number of years, go back 5, 6, 7 years, and you can pull this up, go to like historical snapshots on coinmarketcap.com. Those other coins that were in the top 10, some of them don't exist, or they're just, who knows how far down they are on the list at this point. So yeah, you could, if you hit a winner, and there's over 17,000 cryptos now, you could hit a winner, and then fine. You get a tremendous multiplier effect. Maybe you do. And then it's going to, in terms of percentage gains, outpace XRP this market cycle. Okay, fine. But you're incurring much greater risk, in my estimation, doing something like that. How long has the cryptocurrency been around? Can it be hacked? Is there enough of a track record to be confident that it's not remotely reasonable? Because XRP's been attacked for almost a decade and it's been fine. Hackers haven't done anything to thwart its forward progress, which is why it's one of the reasons it's been in the top 10 that long. So what I'm getting at, it's the sweet spot. It's the sweet spot of, yes, you can still achieve life-changing wealth with a reasonable investment if you wait a sufficient amount of time, if we're right about directionally where it's going. So there's still ifs. But compare that to a smaller mid-cap coin, there's just a lot more risk, which is why for me, my largest holding, I'm proud to say, is XRP. And I still like Ethereum. I hold Ethereum. I still like Bitcoin. I hold Bitcoin. Been holding them all. Actually, all of those cryptos I've been holding since November 2017. All of them. So, again, I'm still Mr. XRP bull. I'm just not a maximalist of any coin. I'm just saying that for me, there's a reason this is the sweet spot. And so then where's it going to go from there? So say XRP does run up to $15. Well, there would be a retrace because nothing goes up in a straight line forever. I'm sure that would be the case. But then what would be the opportunity from there? Like if you're talking about Bitcoin going to... $20 trillion in terms of market cap. Well, if XRP ends up matching that and hits that level, and there's no guarantee that it will, but if it does, you're talking about, I don't know what the number would be because I didn't crunch it, but it would absolutely be hundreds of dollars. I don't know if it'd be like $400 or $500. I do believe there can be an individual cryptocurrency with that type of market cap. I just don't know for sure how things are going to flush out. I don't know if there are going to be a number of cryptocurrencies where money flows into them. For solving roughly the same use case, so they each get a little bit of what you might quote-unquote call like the market share, if you will. It depends on how things unfold. I just frankly don't know, So we'll just have to see what it looks like, but it's an interesting concept. Now, as far as how Bitcoin's performing, which we still need to watch, and it's leading the market, which I'm fine with. It doesn't really bother me in the least here. Take a look at this article. Is Bitcoin mirroring Apple's explosive growth? Fidelity's macro analyst likens Bitcoin to world's richest company. Fidelity Investments Director of Global Macro, Jurian Timmer, says the price of Bitcoin is set to grow exponentially as the adoption rate increases. In a new interview, Timmer says that Bitcoin is following the same growth path as the world's largest firm by market cap, Apple. And here's a quote. I've compared the whole network effect for Bitcoin to Apple Computer's network effect. So as Apple grows its revenues, its stock price goes up exponentially from that. It doesn't go up in line. Bitcoin is following in the same path, and so I think there's some very robust logic to why Bitcoin should see higher values as the demand curve evolves. So look, that's the end of the quote. That part of the logic makes sense to me. And so when it comes to, this individual working at Fidelity, which is a major company, obviously, with, I can't even remember how much, in terms of dollars, as assets under management, it's just obviously a massive company. In terms of them and what they're willing to share regarding their expectations in terms of potential growth and the charts, what it has to say, super duper, but... when they get into analysis outside of that, something closer to understanding the differences between cryptocurrencies, specifically from a technical perspective, some of the fundamental analysis, I become a little bit less confident. That's what I've seen from them as I've seen reports and comments from Fidelity in general over the years. The same can generally be true from like the likes of Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan, but take a look at this. The Fidelity Investments Global Macro Director says that Bitcoin is in a class of its own, distinct from other crypto assets. Oh, doesn't it sound just a bit maxi-like? Bitcoin maxi type? It sounds like it's in line with that. That's what you expect to hear from people. The narrative is it's just Bitcoin, which is comically enough the least sophisticated cryptocurrency on the entire planet because it was the first, but okay. So check out this quote. I don't like this quote quite as much. Maybe other digital assets will do better relative to Bitcoin because they are more scalable, but at the same time, maybe they're less decentralized. Audible sigh, face palm. And then he says, and that's why I would say that to me, Bitcoin is in an asset class like a store of value, like gold. And the rest of the digital asset space is more almost like a venture asset. Look, I still think that any crypto that has a long-term viability, people will use it for multiple things, including store of value. So I don't think that will be unique to Bitcoin. Assuming Bitcoin even sticks around for that use case forever, it's still early, and it very well may. I'm just saying. It's 2022. We don't know for sure. Bitcoin has not been tested in an environment that is mature and where utility matters. That's an unknown. And Bitcoin maxis don't want to acknowledge that. Anything that sounds potentially negative for Bitcoin, screw intellectual honesty. God forbid we have some of that. But it's the truth. Like, I don't know. I even say the same stuff about XRP. Like, I'm Mr. XRP Bull, and I'm confident, and it's my largest holding, but I don't know for sure. What's wrong with saying that? Can't we just be real humans and be intellectually honest and say it's too early, we don't know for sure, even if we have relatively high levels of confidence for whatever cryptocurrency we're talking about, just based on current information? Can't we still say we don't know? But you don't get that from maxis, do you? Not typically, anyway. But XRP, it's sufficiently centralized. Many are arguing, and with ease, that XRP is more decentralized than Bitcoin even. And so I just, when you get to the fundamental analysis from some of these guys, like, no. I appreciate that they can understand network effects and how charts can compare and how they're comparing Bitcoin to app. Okay, super duper. I'll take them at their word that they believe that and that makes sense. But when it comes to the fundamentals, sometimes I just kind of roll my eyes when I look at this stuff. I'm like, are you new to crypto, bro? You talk good, but you don't crypto. You're not doing the crypto stuff right when it comes to fundamental analysis. I'm just saying here. Here's an article I don't want to read, but I just wanted to make the point because there have been all sorts of analysts I've been highlighting that have been pointing this out leading up to today. And we didn't know exactly when this might happen or to what degree, and we still don't know for sure to what degree this is happening, but we have seen some downward price action, obviously, at the time that I'm recording this latest Moon Lambo hot jam, but we knew that this was possible. Nothing goes up in a straight line forever, and there's this article from the Daily Hodl where there's an analyst from Technical Roundup put in a newsletter who's actually noting this is an important level of resistance. So I don't feel like reading the article. I just wanted to share the idea. We were talking about once you hit that $46,000 to $47,000 level, that you might start to see some trouble for Bitcoin because nothing goes up in a straight line forever. It's not particularly scary, so Bitcoin has gone down at least to this point to some degree. XRP and other cryptos have followed. Not the end of the world here. Pretty normal stuff. But for anybody that's been following this for the last few days, you probably weren't caught off guard when this happened today. And if you're not caught off guard, hopefully that means that you didn't have a negative emotional response, because it doesn't make logical sense to do that if you're armed with this information, this data, and you understand that this is just what crypto does, right? And then there was this from chart analyst Leb Crypto. There was a comment. This is a tweet from him from 2 days ago, which I did share in a previous video, and there's an update. But the comment from 2 days ago was the following. Expecting white or yellow to play out, it's zero bias for either. Bitcoin's next move will dictate this. And he was talking about the price for XRP. And so here's the chart full screen now, indicating at this point we're going to see a break up or down. And he was unbiased. He's saying, I don't know for sure which way this is going to break based on the information available to me, but we're at a point where we're going to see a break. That's basically what he was getting across right here.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.